beware at the paragraph that Samar Bhagavan says that in the heart of a devotee, the disturbance comes, and Samar Bhagavan says that is coming. He checked whether it is coming from the inner side, which is mind, intellect, ego, etc. But then he says that is not the real beginner problem for this disturbance. And only problem with those inner senses is that they are overconfident, that they think that we have found God and we are soul, we are not this body, and because of that they are somewhat not totally attentive, they are little bit lazy, and that is the only problem of them, They are not becoming very alert for any negativity to come in within. So then Bhagavan says the real culprit is the senses, the five senses that we see, hear, touch, taste, smell, etc. and five other senses which are the worker senses, the hand and legs and tongue, etc. So, in there, Swamidhana Bhagavan started with first one as the tongue for eating varieties of food. And when they eat, they get the effect of that kind of food within themselves. If a devotee of God takes a liquor, then no matter how strong that devotee is, he would get drunk. And that is the effect of the food, the liquor. And same way, the other sense, which is the hearing sense. So that is how far we were last time, I think. So here, Swamidhana Bhagwan says, I'll read first in Gujarati and then we'll expand. તેમજ એ જીવ શ્રોત્ર દ્વારે અનંત પ્રકારના શબ્દને સાંભળે છે. તે શબ્દના પણ અનંત પ્રકારના જુદા જુદા ગુણ છે. તે જેવો શબ્દ સાંભળે છે તેવો જ અંતઃકરણમાં ગુણ પ્રવર્તે છે. So, Swamidhana Bhagavan is saying that a soul listens varieties of the words and there are varieties of the effect of the words. So, whatever type of word a soul is listening, that is how the resonance, that is how the effect happens within. જેમ કોઈ હત્યારો જીવ હોય, અથવા કોઈક પુરુષ વ્યભિચારી હોય, અથવા કોઈક સ્ત્રી વ્યભિચારિણી હોય, અથવા લોક અને વેદની મર્યાદાને લોપીને વર્તો એવો કોઈ ભ્રષ્ટ જીવ હોય, તેમની જે વાત સાંભળવી તે તો જેવી લીલાગર ભાંગ પીવે અથવા દારૂ પીવે એવી છે. So then Swamidhana Bhagavan is giving an example that if somebody is a killer, we have some history of serial killers in this country also, and there are many other countries also, killers. And if somebody is listening and cooperating with that kind of killer, then that person will become also a killer. And we have an example of Hitler that who convinced so many of his people to kill so many Jews without mercy, How effective was Hitler, It's just, just very hard to imagine even, But it happens, That is what Swamidhana Bhagavan is saying also. That the company you keep makes the difference. And if a person is a killer, then you will inherit that quality within yourself also. The second example, Samdar Bhagavan is saying, or if a person who is a playboy or a woman who is a playwoman and not following the discipline of the society and going out of the way, and if a person becomes friend or listens to the talks of those kind of persons, then that soul also becomes just like a person who would take the drinks and get drunk. માટે એ વાતના સાંભળનારાના અંતઃકરણને ભ્રષ્ટ કરી નાખે છે. So it just ruins the good qualities of a person. And in our Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a story about a Brahmin by the name Ajamil, and he was performing the morning rituals on the bank of the river every day. And one day he saw some lower caste and some not mannered people taking bath and doing improper activities, and rather than focusing on God, he focused on those acts. And from there was one woman that he focused on that woman, and he became really different. And then that all the people left. That woman was the last one to leave. So he got up, this Ajamil Brahmin, got up from his worshipping place and was so crazy and, sex free or whatever you call, that he was running after that woman. And that woman did not know. And when woman was going, a flower from her head fell down on the ground. And this Ajamil picked up the flower and started smelling and having bad thoughts about her. Eventually, he ended up marrying with her. He gave up his wife, previous wife, and children, and stayed with this woman in the area near the river. And then this woman is telling him that every morning, he says, go and kill fish and animals for the living. And it was not his style, but just for the sake of her, he was doing all that, and he became then drunkard, and he became the killer and all that, And then they had like kids, 6, 7, 8 kids, And then he was just lost, he was gone. But whatever he did before this, his good qualities, the seed was still hanging there, And the 4 sages, which are the first sons of Brahma, which are called Sankadik, they were 4 young children born. Brahma told him to go to the jungle and meditate for a long time, up to 25 years, then come back and become family men. Those 4 boys, brothers, said that we are not interested in this world. We will go to the jungle, meditate, but we will not come back. But they say that give us the blessings that we remain always like 6 years old. We never look older than 6 years old, So they were visiting this village where this Ajamil was residing. So it was the evening time. So they asked the village people that is there any Brahmin family who lives in this town that maybe we can go and have our evening supper, So people said that there is no Brahmin family in this town, but there is one Brahmin who is already spoiled Brahmin. But he is not worthy of going, but he is Brahmin, So these Sankadiks, they went to his home. And then he was there, And he asked that if they could stay and eat and prepare the food. And he gave the grains and other things. And they prepared the food. They stayed at night. They did some prayers and other things, which Ajamil liked again, which was his previous liking. So then they became friendly, they communicated. So then they said that, can you chant the Narayan, Narayan, Narayan? So he says, well, I have no time, I am busy and I have forgotten all that. So these Sankadiks found out another practical approach. They said that you would have one more son to your wife. And can you name him Narayan? And he says, yeah, that I can do. So then by their blessings, a divine soul was born into their home. And Narayan was totally different from all other brothers, sisters. And he was always very helping to his father. And now father is at the age and, bedridden and sick. So Narayan is always going there and helping, and guiding, And the time of his death came. And at that time, the demons or the Yamdut came to drag his soul to take to the hell for all this bad doing that he has done. But when he saw that, he cried out loud from deep inside from his navel stomach, calling his son, Narayan! And that sound was so intense, so deep, that it reached to Lord Vishnu, Narayan. And Narayan says, he is our customer, not to the others. So he sends his people, and this two group have discussion, and this group which came was very powerful. The others, just could not do anything. They went back, There's a long story to that, in Srimad Bhagavad, They go to Yamraja, their leader, and say that this is first time we saw somebody came and took away our customer, Who are they, We thought that you are the highest entity in this whole world. But we found out today that there is somebody higher than you. Who are they? And then Yamaraja explains, that Lord Vishnu is above me, and they were his angels who came there to receive, etc. But what it says here, that the person like Ajamil, such a elevated person, Brahmin, also got tangled into this because of listening, because of association of the bad company. So here, Bhagavan is giving these 2-3 examples. And he says that માટે તે વાતના કરનારાના અંતઃકરણને ભ્રષ્ટ કરી નાખે છે અને ભગવાનનું ભજન, સ્મરણ તથા વર્તમાન તેની વિસ્મૃતિ કરાવી નાખે છે. So that one makes us totally fallen down from our daily good activities, and it takes away our good memories and focuses us on the bad things, So this is also the effect of the ear that is the cause of trouble, So we have to make sure that we should listen only the good things, And the good thing we should listen is what we speak. What we speak, dhun, that dhun first goes to our ear before it goes to somebody else. We think that everybody hears except me, It's not that. We hear first our own dhun, then others hear, So come back again on Sunday for more dhun and hear to yourself. I think it's getting close to 10 o'clock, so I want to pause here and see if anybody has any question, comment or anything before we leave. Sajanand Swami Maharaj ni Jai, Jai, Jai.